terms of folks that are a little bit, the elder community is the most likely to be kind of less tech aware. I'm kind of putting that out there. And also with all of this quarantining that may not just be this year, right? It may be going on to the future. So I think it really behooves us to I'm thinking a lot right now about how to reach out to all. I work in some senior centers, some nursing homes, and just really trying to get our elder population to be tech savvy so that, let's say every winter we have these kind of quarantining things, we can just kind of shift right over. So this is a really cool thing for us to be doing. I feel really excited about that element of helping, the people that may just be like, tech, that's another generation's interest, but let's find out just that perfect amount, right? So let's get started. Make sure you're in a chair, that you've got some room to your sides, and I'm going to go ahead and back up.
Can we stand also?
Yeah, we're going to stand, and if you want to stand right away, you can, but we're going to be doing some stuff in the chair that is ideal in the chair.
You're fading, Otto.
Fading.
No, your voice is fading as you move backwards.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to figure something like that out because they have these kind of AirPods you can put in your ear that have a little microphone. So I may be getting some of that stuff squared away as we go. Okay. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. So sitting in your chair, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Scoot forward enough in your chair that your buttock bones are right at the edge of the chair. And right away, this is a fantastic exercise that people often kind of overlook. Just getting the pelvis forward. You notice the back is having to work, the stomach area is having to work, because a lot of times we're sitting and kind of slouching like this. And so right away, just scooting forward and tipping the pelvis so that your spine lengthens, and every single day. So this is, if you were going to repeat the exercises, this is your starting point. You sit, you scoot forward, maybe you got your glass of water or tea or something next to you, place your hands on your thighs, and then you begin by breathing, and you can kind of take a sip of tea, set it down, do some breathing in, breathing out. This is meditation. But it's more than that because it's structural and muscular, right? So let's take a big inhale through the nose. Fill that breath, fill up this area so you feel that stretching, you feel this sort of workload placed on the respiratory apparatus. And then exhale and feel that releasing, that relaxing as your diaphragm lifts and everything draws inward. And we're just going to do this a few times, maybe 10 or 12. Breathe in through the nose. You feel yourself get up to the top, the rise, and then you hover there for a moment, and then back down. And we're just going to do that a few more nice, smooth repetitions. We'll call this the 2-part breath, right? Inhale, 1 part, a hover, exhale, the 2-part. We're in no rush. So in terms of viruses, and especially this one that we're facing, just this practice is very powerful. Respiratory health and strength, but also nervous system control, right? So inhale, smooth and full. Your mind is being guided to this single point. Meditation, right? Guiding of mind to single point. Exhale, your mind is staying on that single point all the way to empty. About 7, 8 more of those. Let's just do them together. Be at your own rhythm. If you're slower than me or faster than me, fine. Just do it your rhythm. Now I'm noticing a little bit when I'm watching some of you guys out there, structurally, I'm going to move a little closer. Just keep breathing and watch me. What you don't want to do is this. You don't want to go right? You don't think inhale, good posture, exhale, bad posture. hold good posture. Inhale, expand outward in all directions. Exhale.
Could we ask everybody to be put on mute so that we can see you? Otherwise, we keep seeing other people screens.
As I said before, pin my video. Drag your mouse above my.
I'll just mute everyone because it's flipping around and not everyone can pin.
Okay, gotcha.
I got in a little late. Can you just summarize what pinning is again?
Hover your mouse above my screen. Go to the top right corner. There's 3 dots. And then click that, and then you can drag down, and there's the word pin video. Click that.
Have 3 dots.
Now it should be me. If you're in speaker view, it would just be me on your screen, right? So, and those of you that if I'm talking side with somebody, just make sure you keep the practice, right? Inhale.
Yeah, I don't seem to have 3 dots. I have a gallery view and enter full screen. Those are my choices.
Yeah, so I guess maybe it's a good idea to have everybody muted. So that's, Adam can do that as the host. He's muting everybody. So about 3 more, let's just do these nice full breaths. Inhale, and again, remember what I'm explaining here structurally is that breathing happens forward and back to the sides, right? We're expanding in all directions, and then compressing, but you notice my structure doesn't lose its center line, its integrity, right? It's very important because breathing's supposed to happen back, side, and forward. Okay, now we have this rhythm of the breath. Try to keep that. So I have to talk a lot, right? I have to explain structural movements, this is and that. It's on you to keep the breath as something you're working on, right? Because I got to talk. I can't say 6 different things at once. I can only say what I'm saying, right? So now I'm turning sideways. You guys stay as you are. Pelvis here, tip the pelvis back, kind of like bad posture, but then keep going in that direction. And if you look at my spine, I'm rounding it, and also with my hands sliding and reaching the hands forward. So I'm opening up the shoulder blades, I'm opening up the upper back, drop the chin so the back of your skull opens up. It's called the jade pillow, very important area right there. Then release that effort and just kind of ease your way back to neutral. And then let's go the other way. Tip the pelvis forward. Now you arch the back, kind of like a rainbow arch. Lift the chin as if to look more up. Pull the elbows behind your back and squeeze shoulder blades like you're trying to crack a walnut right between those shoulder blades. And notice there's effort, 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 and then relax the effort. Let go of the effort and melt to neutral. Neutral is a key piece to all of this. Let's do it again. Rounding, so it's pelvic posterior tilt, arch of back, chin down, slide hands forward, open the back. Feel the nerve electricity and chi flowing out of the back side of the body, which is where it flows out. Then release that effort, come back to neutral. Arch the back, tip, lift the chest like you're just beaming from that heart center. Lift the chin, elbows back, shoulder blades squeeze back towards each other. And then release that effort. Let's do one more. Spinal range of motion. This is called flexion when we're rounding. And then we're back to neutral. And then it's called extension when we're arching. And then the best part of both of those is neutral. Now, when you return to neutral, what you can feel and over time will feel is an effortless relaxation. Now you let go without losing the integrity of the body. Now we do our rotations, our twists. Left hand to right outer thigh. Right hand to right buttock. Inhale here. Turn from the lower spine, then the middle, then the upper. So we turn low back, turn mid back, turn upper back, turn the head. Try to look behind you. Look to the right. Turn your head to the right there. To the right. So the same direction you're turning. There you go. Turning, turning, turning. Look over the shoulder. Now even look with your eyeballs. Try to see behind you. And then release the effort. Return to neutral. So you'll notice everything we do is about neutral. It's about opening a pathway and then a return to relaxed neutral. Let's go the other way. So again, hands, right? Hands, grab. And then from here, turn from lower, then middle, upper spine, then turn the head. Look over the shoulder. Bring out the back. And then relax the effort. Turn back to center. Take a moment in neutral every time. And then we'll go to the right again. Now with the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Holding, squeezing, and then release the effort. Inhale to center. Exhale, turn. Bring out the back. Look over the shoulder. Release the effort. Inhale to center. Exhale, turn. Inhale to center. Exhale to turn. And inhale to center. Good. Arms drop. Let them hang. Now, lateral movement. Let your right arm get heavy, as if to touch the floor. As your left arm floats up, kind of like I'm doing here, like a puppet. Wrist is relaxed. Elbow leading the way. And let your spine just slightly tip. Let the head drop like you got water in your ear and you're letting it drip, drip, drip. Then gently move your way back to center once again, finding neutral. Other way, droop that left arm. Let the right arm float up, the elbow floating up. Maybe a little further as we loosen. We're going to do about 3 reps. Each time you might find you get a little more range. Especially with lateral spinal movement, this is often a place of tension in the body because we just don't regularly do this, but we're built to do it. Now, some of you notice my hand starts to rise up a little higher. Reaching. Maybe you take a little extra moment of reach. Reach. And then droop the hand like a ripe piece of fruit. It falls down. And the other way. So we can stop at, level 1, level 2, level 3, maybe even all the way. Where you actively reach now like you're trying to touch the sky, touch the ceiling, and you're reaching down. One of the names for this exercise is piercing heaven and earth. So we're piercing the earth and we're piercing heaven. And reaching, and we're opening the torso. And the hand droops like a ripe piece of fruit, just falling. Last one. Reaching. And once again, we're back to our magical, most important place, neutral. Okay, now, shoulders. Shoulder blades are complex structures. They do a lot. They elevate. Do it with me. Elevate, shrug up, and then they release down, known as depression. Elevation, shrug up, depression. Let it happen like a melting of sorts. Now, let's add to that. Shrug up, Make fists. Squeeze the muscles of your arms and then squinch up your face. Tighten up the forehead, the cheeks, the jaw, chin, the neck. Tighten, tighten, and then just let it all melt very slowly. Melting, 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 melting. Letting your face mask kind of melt off so it's not stuck, but it's soft. Do it again. Shrug up and make a funny face. Squinch up, tighten up the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw, the back of the head. Squeeze. And then melting. Melting. This can have a really wonderful effect on deep internal tension in the body, right? It can just disperse it. It's really powerful. Okay, so that's elevation depression. Now the shoulder blades do something else. I'm going to turn around so you can see my back. Protraction. And then back to neutral. Retraction. Back to neutral. Okay? Protraction is usually the weird one, the one that people kind of go, I don't quite get it. But when you get it, you can feel such a lovely opening. So you'll notice there's a natural depression of the chest. The arms alongside you here turn inward. Drop your chin down, open the back of the neck. So really try to spiral the arms, open the back, and then relax and back to neutral. Then retract. Notice there's a natural turnout of the arms, a natural lift of the chest and chin, and then wring it. So think of it like a rag that you're wringing, you're spiraling. The body's built to spiral open and then release to neutral. Let's do that one more in each direction. Spiral inward, wringing out the body. Let your head fall. Open the thoracic spine. Let the nerves flow. And then back to neutral. Spiraling open. Right? You can notice the breath. Inhaling there. And then release to neutral. And then you can notice exhaling. We'll do one more of each. Exhaling goes really well with that spiral in. And then neutral. And inhaling goes really well with the spiral out. And neutral. Very good. Last thing with the shoulders. In, up, back, down. Right? So let's do that together. In, you can add this little round to the back. Then shrug the shoulders up and let your spine come up towards neutral. Shoulder blades back, you're sort of arching the back, and then down to neutral. Forward, up, back, down. Then reverse that. Back, up, forward. That one's a little funny, right? Oftentimes that's a little hard for the body to do, but keep practicing it. You will get it. Back, up, forward, and down. Good. And we're back to magical neutral. Bend the elbows. Now this one is important. It's kind of tricky, kind of funny, but when we bend our elbow, then compress it. You notice I'm squeezing like I'm crushing something right inside there. So squeeze and then relax the elbows. And notice how like a hose, there's a flow that comes through there. And then release the arms down. We'll do that again. Fold and then squeeze and then release the squeeze and then let the hands fall. When they fall down, here's an important thing with Tai Chi. The elbows, when they're relaxed, stay a little bit bent. They don't lock. They stay a little bit bent, but they also aren't bent and held. So they're kind of bouncy. They're open. They're fluid. Let's do that one more time. Fold and squeeze. So this is all joint mobilization. And then release the squeeze and let the hands fall down. Now, float your hands up in front. Forearms, 2 bones in your forearms, do what's called pronation, supination. Notice my upper arm isn't moving, but my forearm is. So it's sort of isolating it. Pronate, supinate. The other thing is let it finish through the hand. So it's pronate and then keep the hand kind of rolling under, and then supinate and let that pinky side kind of come up. So we're just conditioning our tissues and nervous system here. In, out, little corkscrew, right? Little corkscrew right there. This will help with carpal tunnel. This will help with arthritic pain and general strength in the hands, which is always an issue, right? As we get older, we lose the ability to open jars and things like that. And so this helps with that because these muscles need to be fluid. Now, hold palms up, in, out, in, and notice it's just the wrists. I'm not doing a whole bunch elsewhere, just my wrists. Now, this is the final one with the hands and wrists, a little tricky. Fold. Notice how I'm folding here, right? And then gather the fingers in. So you kind of cup the hand in and it stretches everything through the arm. This is called the tendon changing in Qigong. So we're here and then drop the hands through. Now turn the hands out. So we're corkscrewing the whole arm and then spread your fingers and end up like that. That's very good. That's not easy for the brain to do. This is a challenge for the brain. It's like a little obstacle course. Fold, gather your fingers just like I did, right? You see this gather, then turn, and then release, kind of like a flower blooming right there. Out. Let's do that again. In, fold, turn the hands down and through, and then spread and open, and then we'll close it back up. Out, under and up, spread, it kind of blooms like a flower, and then just drop your arm. So usually that allows you to just let go there. Last thing with the hands, this is for strength, it's called tiger claw. Spread the fingers. Now make a claw. You can see here in my hand, every single digit is slightly clawed, and then follow that all the way into a fist with the thumbs on the outside. Squeeze. And then release that and go all the way open, spread, 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 spread as wide as you can spread, and then claw all the way down. So the last person to get to their fist wins, meaning you don't rush, you don't go too fast, right? But what you're trying to learn is the brain to the hand, control all the way in. That's really good, everybody. I'm watching all your little videos. Nice job. And you can feel right there at the end, you can kind of squeeze and create this power right here, and then release that and let it flow through. Last one, tiger claw. Claw, fist, squeeze a little bit right there, and then release, open, and there, relax. Good. So now everybody scoot back to the back of your chair. I don't have a back to my chair. I won't use one because I like to be able to turn and do all of that. But sit back. Now, right leg, extend it forward, right? And then point, flex, and then set that foot down. Other leg, extend. So we're firming these muscles, the muscles around the knee, point, flex, reverse. Right leg, push it out, push through the heel. Some of you might even feel a hamstring stretch there. Point, flex, reverse. Left leg, push, point, flex, reverse. Now, hold. So this one here, point, flex, point, flex. One more, point, flex. Now, a little out and in. This one is, again, a little tricky for folks. It's called eversion and inversion. In, out. One more. In, out. Now, in, point, out, and flex. That's a circle. In, point, out, flex. In, point, out, flex. Switch directions. Out, point, in, flex. Out, point, in, flex. One more. And down. Other leg. Hold. 3, point, flex. Point, flex. Point, flex. Eversion, inversion. E, in. Just the ankle. So make sure you're not turning your leg a whole bunch, just that ankle. Now, in, point, out, flex. Circles. Other direction. Out, point, in, flex. And center. Good. Now, scoot forward on your chair once more. Scoot all the way forward. Now we do heel-toe raises. So from here, heels on the ground, lift your toes, then lift the ball of the foot up. Put the ball of the foot down, keep your toes lifted, lift your heels. Heels down, ball of foot up. Ball of foot down, heels up. Heels down, ball of foot up. One more. Now, with balls of feet up, keep your right ball of foot up, lift your left heel. Then switch. And switch. And switch, right? That's brain work. Switch. Switch and down. Leg swivels. Lift the ball of your left foot. Take your left hand on your knee and turn the leg open. Turn the leg in. Open. In. So this is external rotation, internal rotation. Now, external rotation, place the ball of the foot down, lift your heel. Internal rotation, push the heel out. Ball of foot lift, turn out. Place ball of foot down, lift the heel, internal. And finally, external. Now you get a nice open space here. Use your left hand to rub that inner thigh, right? This is an area that often just gets closed down and stiff and stuck. So we open this to let flow of energy through to keep range of motion. And then let's go in, and then lift the heel, turn out. Toe comes in, knee in. Heel in, knee out. Finally, neutral. Now just flow through it. See if you can get the flow. 1, 2, 3, 4, and open. 1, 2, 3, 4, and center. Other side, lift the ball of the foot. Open and close a couple of times just so you get that joint, the hip joint, the ball and socket joint, to get its range of motion gently increased. Now let's walk it out. Open, lift the heel, turn and close. Lift ball of foot, roll it open. Turn, finally open and hold, rub. And in. So we're rotating from the hip socket back to center and then walk it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and open. 1, 2, 3, 4, neutral. Once again, back to that centered position. Now, hips, hinge at the hip crease. This is key. We don't round, we fold. Hinge at the hip crease. Get a nice stretch to the back, to the buttocks, right? Hinging, and then sit back up to vertical. This is a key exercise for getting really good at standing and sitting, or keeping that ability to stand and sit. We got to learn what it means to hinge at the hips. So really feel that hip hinge. One more time, hip hinge. Now as you hinge, round your back a little bit and slide your hands down to your ankles and just try to touch the feet a little bit. So now you're getting an opening to your back, right? If it feels tender or dangerous in any way, you back off, right? And then from there, hands up to your knees for support. Flatten the back, get rid of the rounding, and sit all the way up. Now our last thing here in the chair, before we do a little standing work, arms hang down. Want to learn how the arms work. Float them up, shoulder height. Here, the only thing that's happened is the arm bone has moved in the socket, right? So it's a very simple motion. Let's do the same thing forwards. Forwards, right? A straight line, forward. No real challenge to our shoulder blade range of motion yet, because it's just arm bones in the socket. But this is where a lot of people get frozen shoulder, because their shoulder blades lose range of motion, and then they start impinging on this shoulder joint. Go forward and down. Now we're going to get the shoulder blades working a bit, okay? So I'm going to come a little closer so you can see it. Arms out to the side. Turn your arms, palms up. Then from here, reach. And your shoulder blades have to do what's called upward rotation. They have to rotate so that now this angle in the shoulder socket is turned up, like a little cup turned upwards. So you reach. Now, try to touch the ceiling more with your right hand. More. That's more upward rotation of that shoulder blade. And then more with the left. More upward rotation. And then with the right, upward rotation. With the left, upward rotation of shoulder blade. And then both at the same time. Upward rotation of shoulder blades. Touch the sky. And then relax, turn the palms. And come all the way down. Beautiful. So that's shoulder blade, and there's more in there, but really emphasizing the shoulder blade. Now forward. Now up. Shoulder blades doing upward rotation. Add to this like you're trying to reach up to the sky and then arching the back a little bit. So we get a little bit of a back bend quality. We open up through the heart space and the front ribs. This is a kind of more of a yoga position. This is something they work on a lot for back bends. Really great for depression and just feeling kind of down and heavy. Arching. And then arms come forward and down. We're going to do just one more of each. Arms go out to shoulder height. Rotate them, palms up. Reach to the sky. When you get to the top, add a little extra reach. And then sweep the arms out, down, and alongside. And finally, forward and up. Forward, into that reach to the sky, and then into the sort of back bend where you try to go up and a little bit of an arch. Just a little bit. And then forward. All the way down. Back to your seated position. 5 breaths to just let all that integrate. And then we're going to stand up for a little bit. In the nose. Now hold the breath. 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Exhale, smooth all the way out. Hold the breath empty for a moment. Then inhale. Hold the breath full for a moment, maybe 2, 3. Exhale slow, like a seeping balloon. All the way. Squeeze the breath out, hold it empty. Again, inhale. The holding of the breath, such an important point to get oxygenation, to space out the lungs, the ribs. Exhale, all the way out. Last one, just like that. Empty, hold. Inhale. Hold that breath. Exhale. Good. Now, if you're feeling lightheaded at all, stay in your chair for a little extra bit. If you're ready to go for standing, just want to show you the key to standing up well. Feet back up a little bit so they're behind the knees just a little. Now, most people think standing up, right? No, think fold at hips, forward. So this is the most important portion of sitting up and down. Then push into the ground to rise you up to vertical. All right, we're going to do that again. So here, your butt goes back. Head and shoulders come forward. Then you bend the knees, but notice the butt is behind the heels. Behind. So my knees are not being pushed into, but rather the butt is back. Sit, sit, sit. Then sit back to neutral. So the first gesture of standing up isn't up. That's the key piece. It's forward. Forward. Then push down, and notice how the downward push is what gives us our verticality. Then the butt's got to go back, head forward, so that when we sit down, we don't fall into it, but we balance ourselves and land perfectly. So this is an exercise to do. 10 of these, right, at your own discretion through the week. Power in the legs, practicing rooting, connecting to the earth, and then the butt back, sitting. We're going to do 3 more with the option to not sit down, but to do squats. So forward, push down to rise up. Now sit 60 to 90% of the way, but then hover. Hover there. Notice my hands are in front. That sometimes gives a nice feeling of balance. If you have a walker, you could have your walker there. And then push and rise up. Make sure you find neutral. Let go. And again, sitting. Now, can you hover here for a moment like you're downhill skiing, right? Finding that power, that charge, that energy, and then push to rise. Let's do one more. The butt goes back first. Then we think sinking. Then we hold that powerful position of, it's called isometric contraction, where the muscles are working just to keep us still. And then power through it, rising up. Good. Now, check your feet. Have your arms relaxed by your side. Tai Chi Squat. So if your feet are too close together, do a little swivel step, right? That's where swivel steps come in handy to safely widen our stance. Now, lock your knees. Notice how this is how a lot of people stand. We lock out in our joints and we rest in the bones. Now, unlock the joint. Just a little bit of a bend. Notice how that allows your body weight to get through the feet to the floor. Straighten and lock. So the lock is essentially to show us what we don't want to do, and then unlock. Now we're feeling the Tai Chi Squat. Let's take that a step further. Lock the knees, lock the elbows. So again, we wouldn't want to stand, this is like rigor mortis, right? We're like tightening everything up. You don't want that. Now, bend the knees and let the elbows open. This is our Tai Chi Squat, where I call it the gunslinger, right? This gunslinger position where you're ready, you're bouncy, you're loose, everything's open, and then rise. Lock everything out one more time so we can feel what it's like to now open the gates. Open the knees, open the elbows. Now we're in our Tai Chi ready position. Now, rising hands, float your hands forward. Wrists stay very relaxed. It's very key to keep the wrists relaxed. And then on the way down, lead with the elbows and the hands follow. So it becomes like a painter, right? Like a painter painting the wall, back of hands painting on the way up, fronts of hands painting on the way down. Add to this the leg work. As you paint, straighten the legs a little bit, not to locked, but just rise up and then down. Knees bend just a little bit. And again, rising. They say that this exercise flushes the 12 meridians. This is the most basic version of this exercise. There are more complex ones that you will learn, but just this rising and then falling flushes the 12 meridians. So they say, right? We have to experience it to be able to say for sure, right? Last one there. Now, as your hands come down, they turn into this scoop position. This is called low cradle. Rise out to the side. This is the crane flapping wings. Then same idea like the painter, hands come down. This is such a valuable exercise, especially for folks with lowering of body awareness, body-brain awareness, to do the subtleties of it. So we're not just kind of flapping our arms arbitrarily, but we're mindfully, like a ballet dancer, paying attention to subtleties all the way through the fingertips. Now, this is called up and out. Hands come up, and then there's a sort of rolling to the wing position, and then down. Up the middle like you're carrying something very precious, and then a rolling of shoulder, elbow, forearms, wrist, fingers, everything's involved, and then relax. One of my teachers described it as bypassing your joints when moving. So we don't want to overuse any joint, but we're still using them all in perfect balance with each other. So there's a sort of effortless quality. Now reverse that direction. We go wings, turn the arms so the palms face up, and fold the hands in like you're gathering something precious, and then carry it down. These are kind of the ABCs of the movements that I will add later. They become more and more complicated, but if you can get these basic kind of ways of taking yourself through movement, then it'll all feel easier as we go. Rise, turning, folding. So it's this catching of a wave and riding it all the way in. Last one of the arms here. Crane wing. Now, right hand comes under, left hand does that rolling over. Now the brain starts to go, whoa, 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 right? Because we're doing two opposite things called embrace the moon. Now, that left hand goes up and out, right hand like a wing. They meet at the crane wing, and then left hand comes under, right hand goes over top, embrace the moon. So time it so they arrive. So they move simultaneous and yet opposite, right? So healthy for the brain, and Tai Chi is full of these types of experiences. This is maybe the easiest of them all. So that's why I'm taking the time to lay this foundation for everybody. Just to get your brain accustomed to, okay, opposite things happening, right? Last one, open the arms out to the wings. And the hands come down. And we're here. Now, from there, legs. Shift your weight over to your right leg a little bit more. Shift your weight over to your left leg. Notice that I'm not leaning, right? I'm staying vertical and then taking that whole vertical line and letting it go down through one leg and then shifting that whole self So it's not just my hips with my torso over here. My whole body arrives over in that one leg. They call this separate yin and yang. So over and arrive. And then over and arrive. Now we're going to add to that. Shift over. And then remember how we slightly bent the knees earlier? Make sure you do that through the right leg and feel the ball of your foot be the place where the weight gets through to the ground. Not your heel, not your outer foot, not your toes, but that little ball of the foot. And then we shift and let the weight get down through the ball of the foot. You let the knee be a little bit open. And then we shift and let it go down through. Last little move here, shift. As you get to the left leg, turn your hips just a little bit left so your belly button points to the left. Keep it pointing left, shift to the right, and then turn so that the belly button points to the right, but stay in the right leg. And then we go shifting to the left and turning. Now let your arms hang. Let your arms hang, because now as you shift and turn, they start to do what's called the standing bear, washing paws in the stream. So the poetic image of the bear washing paws in the stream. But notice I'm not just moving my hands. I'm shifting, turning the waist, and the hands are dragging through. And then I'm shifting, turning, hands are dragging through. Shift, turn and drag. Good. Now we're going to learn one more, and it's a single hand maneuver. Put your right hand behind your back. Left hand, this is called brush knee. So it's the same. Brush knee, crane wing. We've done all these moves, right? So we've shifted and turned to the left. Crane wing, roll and fold the hand over. Recognize that. Now keep the hand here. Shift, turn the waist. This is called push. Let the hand float through. Let it come down on the right side of the body. Now we do brush knee again, but do it not with the hand. Shift, turn the waist. Then the hand comes through. Catch the wave. Let the hand keep going. Roll, fold. Now we're ready to shift, turn, push, down, shift, turn. This is called brush knee. Float it up, roll it, and fold, push. Now, as the hand comes down, we're going to just do that on the other side, then we'll be done. Shift and bring the hands across, standing bear. So you're starting to get accustomed to these moves and the names. Wrap the left hand behind your back. Single hand, brush knee, shift and turn, crane wing, roll, fold, shift, turn the waist. This is a push. Hand comes down. Now remember, the hand stays behind. It kind of drags behind as we shift. Turning kind of pulls it through. And then we crane wing. Roll, fold. Now it's shift, turn. This is the push. And down. Shift, turn. Right? So you're starting to get this feeling of fluid movement. Slower is better. Slower is more challenging. Last little thing. Other hand floats up, the other comes down. This is where we start to have the brain fritz out, right? Some of you will find it easy. Some of you, this will be the hardest thing ever. But now we're doing both maneuvers in opposition to each other. Shift and turn. One is brushing knee, one is pushing. One is a crane wing while the other comes down. Then it folds over as it comes up and over. And then we shift, turn. This is brush knee and push together. Last one to each side. Remember, it all comes from the dantian, from the center. So you're never losing your balance, never losing that center. Last one, shift, turn. The hands come down. We do one more standing bear to each, and then we come back to middle and finish with sinking chi to wash organs, up and over. Healing hands wash the brain. the eyes, mouth and tongue, throat, heart, lungs, liver and spleen in the front, kidneys in the back, stomach, and intestines. And then place one hand on your navel, other hand on that hand, sealing the practice, sealing this energy cauldron here. And then release the hands. Thank you all so much. Nice work. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions, comments, any assistance that you may need, and enjoy the next class. So feel free to